When I've talked to couples about their first entry into something a little kinky, kinkier sex, they'll have had fantasies at home when they're just them by themselves, and they'll talk about having another person involved in their sexcapades. For instance, the woman might talk about sleeping with another guy, and she can see that it's turning her husband on, and that will lead to discussions about having a threesome, and then maybe we'll have, let's give this a try, and how do we go about trying it? And that's what we're here for today, is to try and help you get through those initial steps of how to find a partner, someone to have a threesome with. Really, the first step in having a threesome is for you as a couple to decide that that's what you want to do, is to have a threesome with somebody.
You're awesome. I love guys. Let me think. Do you want one? Yes? Done.
I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but it goes a little deeper than that.
That is awesome. Okay. So, Jackie, what would you say is the first step to a threesome?
Well, I agree with John as far as there needs to be a discussion, obviously. And that comes through being comfortable with each other as a couple and kind of taking that leap of faith that the love that's expressed between the couples is true and honest and open to those kind of conversations. And I know that's with us, when we kind of started talking about fantasies, and it became a safe place to kind of reveal some of those from both of us. And since that had kind of been one of my fantasies, and I mean, not only just a fantasy, but it was something I really didn't think would ever take place. I just didn't think that was something that would be available. So to be able to have that conversation with John was really important. And I think that's one thing that's important for me to point out is, these aren't things to be taken lightly. I mean, there's a lot of things that incorporate bringing someone else into your circle. I mean, you really have to be a strong couple to do that. And
there has to be a lot of trust between both of us as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, you really had to trust me to let me know that you had those fantasies, so I wouldn't look down upon you for having those fantasies. It took a lot of trust for you to let me know those things. And the same for me. It took a lot of trust. It takes a lot of trust from me or the other, the guy, to trust his wife that she's not going to leave him over having a threesome with another guy.
Yeah, there's a level of vulnerability with the couple in revealing those things, and I think once that footing is safe, then you can start to branch out and go through social media or whatever, clubs, whatever avenue you want to take in order to try to secure a person to involve in that.
How do you go about broaching that subject with your wife or your husband? I've heard of other couples exploring that in a fantasy session, fantasy play, for instance, in the bedroom, where you can pretend you're having a threesome with someone else. That might be a safe way to go about seeing how your partner will react to it. Other ways, I don't think it necessarily takes a sit-down, serious conversation about, hey, you want to have a threesome? It's probably more about seeing how your partner reacts to the discussion of having a threesome.
Well, and I think too, when you're dealing with something that's outside of what you normally do, is to kind of hone in on what that is. I mean, is it a fear of stepping outside that box? I mean, is it truly something you're not interested in or your partner's not interested in? Or is it that there's really not enough information about it? Maybe talking with another couple that has, take some of that fear away from it.
That's one of the reasons why we've started these webinars, where couples can get online with us and we can share with them our experiences, and they can ask us questions about what they're going through with their trying to incorporate a threesome into their life. I think if you start a conversation with your significant other and you're getting some negative feedback about it, it may be just that's so ingrained in that person. This is a bad thing. You don't want to go down that road. And really deep down, it may take a little bit more. Maybe that person honestly does have the fantasy, but there's just not enough, it may just take them a little more time to be able to share that with you. And so I wouldn't give up at that point. Still bring it up from time to time, especially in the safety of when you guys are together in bed. If you're saying something and you see it's really turning your spouse on, you know, follow that path. I always recommend if you do something that turns on your partner, then